So the most simple use case for using CryoZerk is just to send a file and then to retrieve it again on either the same machine or a different machine. So let's assume I want to send this file over here, car436, just an image, to JPEG. So compression will be done, will not be done, but encryption will be done. So if I just drop down to a terminal here, so I'm already in the folder, and what I've done is I've created an alias for the CryoZerk binary and stuck it in my bash RC file, and I just called it CZ, so it's not as long as CryoZerk itself to type out. So I just say CZ and send dash file, and what was it, car-4 3, all right, and then you say -p to type in your password. Now you could type it right now, all right, and so in other words you can use it if you're doing scripting and so forth. Alternatively, you can say -p without giving it a password, and then what will happen is it'll ask you for a password instead of immediately sending. So if I just press enter now, it now asks me to enter a password, and you must now enter a super secret password, no less than 12 characters in length. So and to verify, it's going to ask you to retype it again, because if you make a mistake at this point, you can never retrieve your file again. So do not ever forget your password. All right, and it does the upload. Okay, this is being sent to a server approximately 1,000 miles from where I'm at the moment, and it tells us that to download this file again, we need this code. Now, it's not only the code that you need. You have to be, your client must be set up that you're in the same CryoZerk community as the person that did the upload. You can belong to multiple communities, and each community is represented by a key, and I'll show you just now how that is set up. And so you can send to different communities and download from different communities and so forth. What happened in this case, we just uploaded the file, and we can then download the file again. So, but let's just see the upload. So I'm going to say again CZ, and I'm just going to say list. So what happens is when I say list, it takes my default community and lists whatever is uploaded for that. So we should see now this A71 file as being uploaded. And there it is. There's only one file that's on the server, and it is this A171. I just want to copy that. All right, so I'm just going to put it into a new folder. Let's just create a new folder here quickly. And I'll just call it downloads and change her into downloads. Okay, so we've currently got nothing in this folder. And okay, if I come here, we should have a downloads here now. All right, so I've got nothing inside there. And so I say CZ get. The code, and we paste our code in, and it wants our password again. So again, you can either type it in now, or if you're worried about someone seeing what your password is, you just say -p and press enter. Then it asks you for your password, and it's going to verify it again. So what it does is it verifies your password before actually retrieving the file. If your password is incorrect, it cannot retrieve the file. That doesn't mean it's got your password on the server. It does have an encrypted bit though on the server, encrypted on your local machine with your code. So what happens is that it tries to use your password now again to decrypt that code, and it knows what that code should be. And if it decrypts that code correctly, then it knows that your password is correct on the client, and therefore it allows the download to proceed. So in other words, if somebody makes a mistake with a password and downloads it and then can't decrypt it, your file isn't then missing and deleted from the server, which in this case it now is. So if we do a list again, you'll see that there's nothing on the server, and the reason for that is we've downloaded the file. So this is the normal use case. So we do an upload, and then when a download gets done, the file gets deleted on the server. So if we look here at our car, here it is, and we've downloaded this file, and that's a Hennessy, if I'm not mistaken, made in the USA. Very, very fast car. And all right, so now we're going to do the same process again. We're going to upload it from this folder. But this time I want it to remain on the server even after a get was done. All right, so it's just one extra argument that we've got to give for that. So if we do a send again of this file, and we just add one extra argument, and that's -x. And that's basically telling the server, all right, on a get, do not delete. So we have to manually delete the file ourselves. We do the upload. Typed it. It verifies your password length. All right, and it does the upload, and then it'll tell you here, your uploaded file will not be automatically deleted when the server, when a get is done. Now, this is in version 1.1 of CryoZerk. In version 1.2, the server can override the setting. The person that sets up the server can say whether they want to allow permanent storage of files or not. So even if you say -x, it's going to return a message to you and say, sorry, it's going to be deleted. The server does not allow this. But that's up to the server. All right, so if we do a list again, you'll see that it's uploaded, and it'll tell us here delete on get is no. So, and you'll see that the expiration date is the same time as the upload date. So that means it'll never be deleted. So if we do a download, so our new code is Ocean B576. Okay, so we'd go again to our download here, and it's going to ask us again for our password. Now I've just made it a whole lot of ones. Okay, so now it doesn't verify it because we can actually see the password, so we know we typed it incorrectly. Okay, if there are some special characters and so forth in the password, then you're just going to have to put it inside single quotes or double quotes, and then you'll be able to type most special characters. If you have some really wacky special characters and typing it on the command line like this doesn't work, then normally just saying -p and then having CryoZerk ask you for the password, you can then type in all your special characters. All right, so it'll do the download, and okay, we didn't give it a description. It tells us the description is none. So if we do a list now, it's still there. Okay, it did not delete it. All right. So if we want to delete it, we've got to manually delete it. All right. So it's basically the same as doing a get, except saying get, we say delete with the correct password again, and then it'll go ahead and do the deletion for us. It tells us it's done, and if we do a list, you'll see it's now gone. Okay, so if we want to upload it again, but this time we want to add a description, all right, and we also want to put it on a layer. Now the layer you have to enter here, we want to put it on a layer just called images. Okay, so it'll send the file for it's going to ask us for a password. In fact, I'm going to exit from here, and I'm going to type in the password. Of course, put in a strong password, and now it's going to ask us for a description. You can't put the description in on the argument on the command line. So we're just going to say it is our I think that's how you spell Hennessy. I don't know, Hennessy. I'm not sure how you spell that. But all right, so our Hennessy, and we'll do the upload. Okay, your upload will not be automatically deleted because you specified -x. So if we do a list now, you'll see that it's stuck it into our layer images, and it will not delete it when we do our download, and there's our new code for this upload, and it'll stay there forever basically now. So another thing we can do is we can say list, all right, and that's gonna, if we've got, for instance, 100 files uploaded onto the server, CZList is going to return everything for us. So you can pipe that to -less, and then you can scroll through it at your leisure and see what you want to see. Alternatively, you can specify to only return all the layers that are on the server. Now currently we only have one, all right, so if I say -l, that's going to return our layers for us. Okay, and it tells us we've got, other than the root, all right, the root is always, you know, it's by default, we can always upload stuff into the root. But then we have the additional layer called images. We could have multiple layers. We can have sub layers or subdirectories of images. So we can have images / cars, images / pretty flowers, whatever you want to do. And then you can specify, show me only a listing, for instance, of what's lying inside images. So if I do another upload, we're going to send the same file again. Let's say we don't worry about the description this time, but we do want to put it into a subfolder called cars, and a password, same password, doesn't matter. All right, so now it's going to do that upload for us. And okay, so now we've actually got two files on the server. So if we just say list, all right, it's going to return everything on the server for us. And it tells us that we've got images and images cars. Okay, so if I say this, it'll show us only that, images and images cars. And if I say, well, show me what is inside images, okay, it'll return for us only what is inside images. All right, but if you want to return what is inside images cars, now it is case sensitive. Okay, and there it returns our images cars. So you'll notice there's two. Well, the one's got a description, the other one doesn't, and different codes. So if we want to download, for instance, this particular code, you don't have to specify a layer when you're doing a download. So we'll just say a get, where are we? Get, okay, and that is Waters 731. Okay, and it'll do our download for us, and it'll also do our delete for us. Oh, sorry, this delete. Okay, we did specify that it shouldn't do our delete. Okay, so in that case, if we have a look at our listing, we should still have two documents uploaded. But let's say we want to delete them both. All right, so or one of them. Let's say we want to delete our second one, our Waters 731. In other words, the one that we just downloaded. Where we get, yeah. All right, so now we want to delete it. And we should now have only one upload remaining. Okay, so now this will work. I've done everything on the same computer now, but you can do this on any computer literally in the world that has access to this same CryoZerk community. You've got to be in the same community, which can either it's your default community, which is always in your configuration file, will be denoted by the ID as being the value of 1. But you can have more than one community. You can have 1, 2, 3, or 1, 100, 200, whatever the case may be, as long as they're unique. And if you don't specify a key, it'll always look for the ID with 1, which is what we've been doing at the moment. We can, for instance, connect to a completely different community, which is denoted, like I say, by your ID in your config file, and mine is 2. All right, so I'm going to again, I'm going to do my listing, and it'll give us our Hennessy here. But now I want to say, do me a listing for my community which has got the ID with of 2. All right, so say -K and 2. So now there is nothing on that community. Oh, there was something on that community. My mistake. I forgot. I did upload something there previously. And all right, so now I'm in a completely different community. So somebody might not have, for instance, access to this community where we've uploaded this file, but they might have a shared access to this community, which is denoted with a 2. Now, in their case, in their config file, it might be 100, a 200, a 3, a 6, or whatever the case may be. But that will cover when we look at the config files. But you can have basically an unlimited number of communities you belong to. Then the other thing is also the size of the file that you upload. You can't just willy-nilly upload any sized file. That depends on what the server allows, which we'll look at in its configuration settings as well. But that's the basics of how to use the CryoZerk client. So you can basically see you can use it for scripting. You can do it on the command line. And one thing I must say that is with Windows 10, the progress bars that you see here are disabled. Okay, it will just say send, receive, send, receive. It won't show you nice progress bars. That's a little bit of a glitch with the progress bar that I'm using at the moment. It doesn't seem to work correctly in all Windows terminals. On some that I've tested it does work, and some it doesn't work. So for now I've just disabled it on Windows 10. Maybe later I'll enable it again. So yes, so the client works on Linux, Windows, CentOS, FreeBSD. On all of them I've tested it. Next, we're going to be looking at transferring a file between FreeBSD and our Linux box again. So inside FreeBSD, yeah, I think it's 12.3. You can just have a look here quickly. What do we have? Oops. All right, so it's 12.2, sorry. Okay, so if we change into my directory, inside here, I've got a document, financial recordings. So I'd like to send that over. So send file, financial recordings, and we're going to be putting it onto a layer called secret files, and ask him to ask us for a password. So it's okay, so the passwords did not match, and let's do it again. All right, and it's sending it over, and we'll get our code back, which is monkey H549. So if we come back to our main machine here, and I'm already in the folder that I want to copy it, and I will open it in a terminal. And so what I can do is, I've now forgotten that code already, so I'll just say a CZ list. Now remember, only we've got access to it where we have a shared community, in other words a shared access key, and also the IP addresses are blocking anyone else from getting into this community on the server. So we'll do a list and see what it tells us, and I'll just quickly copy this over. Okay, and then it's a cz get -c, and in this case I will type my password. It's not recommended to use a password like that, but you can do that. All right, and it receives it. So if we look up here, you'll see our layer was secret files, and delete on get is yes, so that file has now been downloaded. You can see here it is, and it's no longer on the server. So if we do a list, there should be nothing on the server, which is correct. No uploads found. So if you come here, we open up our ODS file, it opens it up in LibreOffice Calc, and here's our secret document. So there we go. We got it working on FreeBSD to Linux as well.